Hi Seth, so I just want to have a quick chat and catch up with you today just about what you're doing outside of your rugby and training at the minute. Obviously you've come over as a 20-year-old from Australia at the beginning of this year. It's a massive move for somebody of your age, something really big to take on and move away from your family and your friends. And while you're over here, you've been looking at doing some things that's going to help with this transition from outside of rugby, which is something that's really important for all of our players. But for somebody so young and somebody that's moved so far away, can you just talk us through your reasoning behind it and what you're doing and what your long-term plans are?
Yeah, so obviously I came over here and I hadn't really studied or done anything like that outside of rugby, and I just thought it's a good opportunity while I'm over here, away from my family and friends. I've got a bit more spare time on my hands, and that's when I've always thought about my long-term goal was to own a gym when I'm older. And so I thought the first step would be just to get my PT Cert 2 and 3, which I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, I started that a couple months ago and it's going pretty well right now and I'm enjoying it.
How are you finding the balance between your study and also between obviously what your main focus is on, which is your rugby, for your training and everything else that comes around that?
Yeah, mate. It can be easy at times and sometimes not so easy. I think I balance it quite well. It's good for me. My partner's also studying at the same time, so we find time to both do it together at the same time, and when I've got maybe a day off or on a weekend or something. But yeah, at times it can get a bit tough when you've got like a session in the morning the next day and you've got stuff to do the night before. But I think it's as long as you find time for it and you're not too worried about it, it's quite simple.
Do you find it's helping having something to focus on away from rugby as well? Obviously, when the season's going, it can be pretty stressful at times.
Yeah.
At times, obviously, you have big games. There's a lot of focus on your rugby, and there's a lot of pressure around that as well. How do you find having something to do away from your rugby just as a little bit of a distraction at times, just so that when you can come, you can really focus in on what your jobs and responsibilities are when you're at the club?
Yeah, definitely. It is a good distraction, sort of. Yeah, I'd probably say a distraction. Just when you've got a lot going on, like you said, at rugby, it's good to have something else that you've got to focus on. And I think with what I'm studying at the moment, it kind of correlates. So I'm looking at the human body and how to recover and how to train and how to eat properly. So I think what I'm doing really is helping me with my rugby, also away from it.
Yeah, that's good. So obviously what you're doing, there's a lot of benefits towards helping you become a better professional, become a better player, learn how to look after yourself. Obviously from your body perspective, recovery is really important from a rugby player, and what you're studying is helping you learn a little bit more about that, and hopefully it's going to really benefit you moving forward.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to finish it and get maybe some part-time work at a gym maybe, or yeah, hopefully one day in my own gym.
So you and Jess, your partner, obviously it's something you're looking into long term. Obviously you're only young, you've only just gone 21 and we forget how young you are sometimes.
Yeah.
Obviously the overseas players generally are a little bit older, you're still young, and Jess is obviously only young as well. So long term, looking into the future, what do you think? Obviously you mentioned earlier that you'd always thought about having a gym and a coffee shop. Yeah. With what Jess is doing now, she's obviously working in the coffee shop. Is that something that you think is going to help getting that bit of experience for when you go back home?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, I'm still young and I've got a long journey ahead of me with rugby, and I think it's good to start thinking about it now, get things done, ticked off, so when I do think about retiring and ending up with my sport, that I've got a couple of things on my back pocket.
That seems strange at 21 talking about retirement. Obviously,
yeah.
Well, that's not going to come for a lot of years yet, but
yeah.
Obviously the better prepared you are, hopefully the more it'll enhance your career, knowing that your plans outside of rugby are all there. You can just focus on your rugby then and have no distractions, no stresses and worries, and hopefully you can grow into the player that we all want to see as well.